This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Oh my gosh.
Get real.
No.
Nope.
Y'all, just stop.
This is a sham.
It's finally here. Drum roll. Welcome to DBL. We're doing something a little bit different today. Yep, we are looking back at some of the biggest entertainment stories of the year. We gotta start with this one. Will Smith. And unfortunately, that slap heard around the world. The day after Will slapped Chris Rock at the Oscars, we were all still processing what had happened. But as a comic, Al had this to say.
It made me think that this is what every comic is scared of and why we also love comics, because we are asking them to go up there and make a joke about something that might be unpleasant, that might be funny, silly, sexual, whatever. We're asking them to do that. But if you miss, now not only can you risk being canceled, but you can risk being assaulted. I know almost as many comics as I know that have been assaulted during and after a show that have not. And this kind of violence is not okay for a number of reasons. Yes, it was an incredibly sad moment, but it undid everybody's work from that night. All the fashionistas, all the people working the red carpet, all the people driving the celebrities there, all the people cooking the food. We were 10 minutes away from having the best Oscars ever, Sam. We were all organically texting like, this is great. Amy's hilarious. Coda made me cry, and now we just have to talk about an assault. So this is what happens when you put your hand on another adult. It undoes everything, and now you have unleashed a train, Jeff, Tori, Sam, that you cannot put back in the station.
What are your feelings now, almost a year later?
It's weird because it's still kind of just sitting there simmering, because we haven't had that closure with this. They haven't had that moment. We haven't really even had that special from Chris that, like, if he explains it all, or even if he went on Instagram Live and said it, it's still just sitting there. And it definitely affected Will Smith's last movie, and it's still affecting his public perception. And, you know, it really is Chris Rock's to decide to leave or to pursue. So we'll see in 2023.
Well, I guess we'll have to continue to wait for that.
Yes.
Now, who could forget the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial? Johnny's name was eventually cleared, but in the process, we got to hear some bizarre details of their life together, including one ritual where Amber would take off his boots. Watch.
It's the removal of the boot ceremony.
Yeah.
That I don't understand it.
I've been there.
But sometimes it be
If
like
I had a
that.
nickel.
So, like, why are we acting like it's that crazy?
Do you have a routine?
No, but I might tonight. Kicking off the removal of the boots. I'm like, Johnny did it.
I did try, when my husband went back to work just a couple months ago, I tried the dirty martini at the door thing.
I did that once.
Because his mother was telling us the story, and this was many, many years ago, but she used to do that for her father when he got home. She would have this dirty martini, and Anthony was so, like, just invested in the story. I was like, I'm gonna make my man a martini, and then he was like, I have to work out.
Yeah.
Like, it's like I
don't
can't
need a
be
vat
having
of vodka at 4:30 in the afternoon.
I did that. Yeah. They were like, and I was like, here's your drink. And Brooks was like, you look like you're trying to kill me.
Yeah, I think it's very symbolic, but like having a martini at 4, it's like your day's over. You're sleeping with your shoes on. So, like, you need to know that.
Unless you have someone removing those boots.
Yeah. Good one, Tori. I like that.
Thanks, buddy.
Jeff, you come home from work, Jordan's at the door with a tray and a martini. What would you say and
I would
do?
be like, are you drunk? Obviously.
It's weird,
are you
right?
drunk?
Right.
Yeah, because she wouldn't do that. I mean, I like the gesture if she's trying to, like, spice it up. You know what I mean? But, my first reaction would be like,
Maybe
you're drunk.
on a Friday, maybe like a Friday martini.
Does she got a fun outfit on?
Yeah, why not?
Hey-oh, take
Okay,
note,
fun
Jordan.
outfit.
Take note.
All right, so I just had a visual in my head. Anyways. Just for these eyes only. All right, so speaking of wonderful couples, J-Lo and Ben finally tied the knot 20 years after breaking up, but his younger brother Casey was a no-show at the wedding, which got us wondering if there was any bad blood between the brothers. Let's watch. I think we're digging way too deep, right? There's a lot of speculation. This is J-Lo's 6th wedding. Ben's 4th. I don't even know. It's like, buddy, my kid's sick. You know what I mean? I got to be home with my kids. When you get married again, I'll show up. You know what I mean? I think he posted a very nice, hey, welcome to our dysfunctional family. That's every man's best speech, okay? He just did it online. You're a gem, blah, 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 all that nice things. And what if that photo was a night out where they all bonded together back in the day and it means something to him?
Can I ask you a question, though?
You want to fight about Ben Affleck?
No, not at all.
She wants to fight about Casey.
Don't you think it's weird that because there's Ben Affleck and J-Lo, they knew it's not just any wedding, that would make the press?
But I think they're real people. Okay. I really do. Despite how much they're followed and we talk about Ben Affleck, I think they're very humble guys from Boston, and I think they still have one foot on the ground. At least I hope so. And they're just like, man, something happened. It wasn't a soccer practice. Let's keep this out of the media circus. Sure. I don't want to re-spark my sexual allegations, right? I'm going to stay away from the press. I'm going to stay home. My kids got this. I got my own family obligations. I love you, buddy.
I agree.
Everything's got to be something.
I agree with you, Jeff. I do. I didn't feel that way when we first started, but you changed my mind.
Wow.
Okay, Terry Sam. I want to hear from Erica because you've done a 180 on J-Lo, I heard.
Well, it's not that. J-Lo was always kind of a sensitive topic for me. I love her story, and I want to root for her because she's a success story. But there's something that's not sitting right with me about her and Mariah Carey situation. And you know I'm Team Mariah before anyone else. Mm-hmm. So
that's a nice little tease.
There is a rift there.
There might be a reason why she don't know her.
Yeah.
Ooh. Tune in to 2023.
Right.
I know.
Speaking about stuff we can't stop talking about, there was a lot of behind-the-scenes drama on the movie Don't Worry, Darling, and it came to a head when Olivia Wilde was accused of making her special salad dressing for Harry Styles out of bounds, while she was still with Jason Sudeikis. Turns out we had a few salad stories of our own.
Whoa! Make a salad. I make this Greek salad that is, when I finish it, it's about 10 to 15 pounds.
Oh my God.
Yes.
It's such a heavy salad, so much so that one of our friends who at the time was playing in the NFL, he grabbed it to take it into one of our friends' houses, and he's like, what's in this salad? So now we call it Anthony's special salad. So if I made it and took it somewhere else and didn't make it for my husband, he would be very upset.
If you made it for another man, would he lay in front of a car?
Well, I would never make it for another
I'm just
man.
saying, I'm putting it into.
But if I was making it for like a party that I was going to take it somewhere else and leave it, he would have an issue with that.
So you could relate.
I can.
It's deeper than the salad tour. Deeper than the salad.
I have to say, out of all the moves Olivia Wilde has made, just to take it back to her, this is my favorite one. I feel like she has gone and tried to hide from the obvious elephant in the room every press conference, every interview, and this one she slyly just put it out and made fun of it. That's the way you get rid of the paparazzi kind of going at you. You go on SNL and you make fun of yourself. You post the salad dressing recipe. So to me, great strategic move. Very funny.
I don't know about that.
Oh, why? We're talking about that and not how crazy this whole weird breakup thing is. Now it's all olive oil.
I don't know how weird it was. It seems like she left with another dude.
Yes, she did, but I don't think it was over a salad dressing.
No, but it's like that to me feels like insult to injury. It's like, I don't know, I wouldn't even put anything, if any of your spouses left you for somebody else and then on top of it they gave them like your robe, like you're telling me, oh, that would be a great article to post. That's like, that's a dagger.
No,
It's personal.
The robe is different than a salad dressing.
Absolutely not. It is not.
Yes, it is.
It totally is.
You think giving another man your ex's robe is the same thing as the salad dressing recipe?
Yes.
No.
Because it's
Listen, this is the difference between men and women. I'm going to say it because there is. If I found out my wife slept with somebody, I'd be mad. Right? If I find out she slept with somebody and cooked my favorite meal and slept with them, twice as mad.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You can be twice as mad, but it's not as if she cooked the meal. Would be like, would you be worse or would you be more mad if she cooked the meal or if she slept with them?
That's a great question.
You got to think.
You got to think.
Are you ready to concede that we were right on this?
No, you aren't.
Yes.
No,
it's
I
worse.
agree with Eric.
Because the
still.
cooking of the meal, the example Jeff made, it takes time. She's stirring it, thinking about this other guy.
And you can make
you know what else
anything.
takes time? The other thing.
Yeah.
No, you can make anything. You got to make his favorite.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm with the boys on that one.
There's a
Coming up on
message behind
DBL, our interview with holistic plastic surgeon Dr. Yoon. He's warning us about some procedures people are trying to do on their own at home. And we take a look back at our chat with Laura Dern. She's telling us all about working with Hugh Jackman.
it's happy holiday season time.
From our DBL family
To yours, we want to wish you
A happy holiday season.
A happy holiday season.
Yeah.
Sure. 5, 4, 3.
Frank scored.
2.
Oh, you stop
Oh, okay. Jeff is following the World Cup. We are wrapping up. And I don't know if, what's that?
Who won the World Cup?
Oh, I don't know. Oh, yeah, in the future. I mean, people can still know that you're following it anyway. I don't.
You know what I love when a World Cup ends in? The penalty kicks off on, they go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth.
I was out of town. Did they do that this year?
I don't know, I was watching something else.
Oh, just wondering.
Tori, can you watch a whole game of anything?
Yeah, I can watch a whole game of football and basketball. And I didn't know this.
Is Brooke still a Chicago fan?
Very much so.
Yeah.
And his dad still watches the Bears and takes notes on a whiteboard. And bets. He's 84 and bets still. He's a bookie.
So does he bet against the Bears?
I think so.
Yeah, that's a pretty good bet. That's pretty good bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he knows. The professor.
Sometimes I bet against the Bears, like when I'm watching, just to make it interesting, and I'll bet against them. So if it's like $20, I'm like, hey, I'll pay $20 to watch the Bears win. You know what I mean? But if they lose, I'm like, I got $20.
Yay!
It's weird when you bet against your own team, though.
Yeah, it is.
It's just weird.
I was always concerned because my team for football was the Washington.
Commanders now.
Yeah, the Commanders now. But back then, you had to be saying a weird slur, and I was super weird. But I was a Baltimore Oriole fan, and it took me a long time.
That's a good hat.
Camden Yards. I have an old school Oriole.
You should.
The guy that more like the jokey Oriole.
The Oriole, that's, yeah.
Yeah, he's like.
That's a good hat.
It's a great hat, and it's in black with nice orange pigment, good white, crisp. But again, old school Oriole. Oh, it's a bird, by the way. I didn't know it was.
I think people know that.
I didn't for
Were you
a
thinking
long
of the
time.
cookie?
I was. And I'm hungry now.
You should get an Oreo
I wanted
hat
an
and an
Oreo.
Oreo hat, just like an Oreo.
It's terrible. So yeah,
Promote
it's
it.
the Orioles, and that's
My kids would
much
love
more
that hat.
appropriate. Oh really?
You'd be a big hit if you wore an Oreo cookie hat.
Oreos are the best.
Interesting conversation.
Double stuff or not? You let us know.
Of course.
I'm a
Welcome back. There's often shame, guilt, and ignorance surrounding the issues of mental health. And earlier we spoke to Laura Dern about her new movie, The Sun, that looks to open a conversation about the mental health crisis. Take a look.
Laura Dern, welcome back to DBL.
Yes.
so excited to hear from you.
Back.
So let's talk about The Sun. In an interview, you said you cried reading the script. So what moved you to tears?
I thought he was gonna. What? He scares me, okay?
In this case, as you all well know, and as we've learned from the numbers during this pandemic, the other horrifically heartbreaking epidemic is around not only mental health in general, but teen and young adult mental health. So what moved me to tears is that the amazing Florian Zeller, our writer-director, along with Christopher Hampton, who adapted Florian's play, they gave a script that captures not only the heartbreak and the shame, tragically, that is filled with a mental health crisis,
Yes.
and how we can move through shame into being truthful about what all of us have been going through in our families and in our lives. But also in the case of myself and Hugh Jackman as the parents to this boy, the powerlessness. One of the lines in the script from a doctor to us as parents is sometimes love is not enough.
Wow.
And it sums up what really broke my heart open reading this script, and how grateful I am to be part of this massively important story.
I was just going to say, Tori, before we continue, one line that really got me was just like when you said, I feel like a failure. And, you know, as a parent, and I think as a parent of 3, that's your worst nightmare, is feeling like you failed your kids and you did your best. And it's something that every parent walks around with, and we never say it. We smile and say the kids are great, but it's a great fear. And I appreciate you in that script getting that sentiment out there, because I think a lot of us carry that every day. And,
Thank you. Amen. Yeah.
and on that same track, what do you hope people take away from this film?
Well, I know for our writer-director, he keeps saying, I want this conversation to be everywhere. We're all having it at our dinner tables. We're all having it in our families. People have talked about unparalleled levels of anxiety for these last couple of years, particularly. We have to have a collective conversation for a child to feel shame because they are having anxiety or depression and feel they can't talk about it, or they're the only one who's ever experienced it. That's on us as a culture.
Yeah, and
we must have a paradigm shift.
What's funny, Laura, is why we love you so much is this show in particular, which is rare in daytime, has been particularly deliberate about talking about mental health. I've been very open about clinical depression, my own anxiety and panic attacks, because the conversation needs to be normalized, just like you're saying. No one's discussing it, then we're not going to move forward. So I just want to say thank you for our audience and for our hosts here who have been open to have a representation of what a lot of people are going through and no one's talking about. Hugely important.
Back to you for in your own authenticity and honesty with your audience, but also giving a platform for the conversation.
And I just want to say, I think you pick well. I love what you pick from all the way from being Ellen's girlfriend. I've always thought of you so highly from that to this, to Jurassic, whatever. I always go to see you because you pick beautiful scripts. And I'm so thankful you are here on DBL. Laura, it was so good speaking with you.
An Instagram video with millions of views says you can ditch your travel-size containers in 2024 because airports are getting rid of their limits for carry-on liquids. People in the comments are both excited and a little skeptical. So let's verify. Are airports eliminating the 3.4-ounce container limit for carry-on liquids in 2024? We went to these sources for an answer. Limits to carry-on liquids have been in place since 2006, when UK authorities thwarted a terrorist attack that planned to use liquid explosives hidden in carry-on bags to blow up several passenger planes. Airport scanners at the time had difficulty detecting the chemicals that the terrorists planned to use, so the 311 rule was created. 3.4 ounces of each liquid in one quart-sized bag, one bag per person. Since then, screening tech for carry-ons has improved. CT scanners, which have been used on checked bags for years, are now being used to scan carry-on luggage in some airports. TSA says these scanners create such a clear picture of the bag's contents that computers can automatically detect explosives, including liquids.
The good news is the technology works. The question is, what's the realistic deadline for having it installed?
In the US, no time soon. A spokesperson for the TSA told Verify claims that the 3.4-ounce limit on liquids is going away in 2024 are absolutely not true. But that's not the case at some airports in other countries. Amsterdam's biggest airport started using CT scanners for carry-ons back in 2021, allowing travelers to ditch those smaller containers. And the UK says they plan to switch over to CT scanners by 2024, so we can verify that most airports are not eliminating the 3.4-ounce container limit for liquids in carry-ons in 2024. The creator of that viral video posted an apology, clarifying that she was referring to airports within the UK. With your Verify, I'm Ariane Till.
Welcome back. We've all seen those viral videos circulating around the internet telling us how to look better, faster. So here to tell us fact from fiction, our favorite holistic plastic surgeon, Dr. Yoon, and a warning to our viewers, some of these procedures may be graphic. Check it out.
Dr. Yoon, why do you think there's so many viral beauty hacks on TikTok and cosmetic sort of do-it-yourself trends? It's everywhere.
I think it's because these videos, they tend to go viral, okay, because everybody wants to look better and feel better, and they want the easy way to do it. And people are making these videos because they want the clout of going viral.
Yeah.
When a video goes viral and it's your video, you get this dopamine rush, and it's almost like gambling. It's like when you win gambling and you want to do something else. And so, unfortunately, this has driven a lot of people to put misinformation out there and to make recommendations that a lot of times don't work, and some of them are even dangerous.
Yeah, so how can you tell Dr. Yoon what's real and what's a scam?
Well, the first thing is you want to find out who is actually presenting that information to you. So if you're looking at beauty and skincare, you want that information to come from a dermatologist, a plastic surgeon, or an esthetician. You don't want it to come from necessarily somebody. I mean, if it does come from somebody who doesn't have, let's say, that type of background, then you want to think, is it too good to be true? Does this sound too good to be true? And if it does, then you got to wonder if maybe this is not accurate information.
Dr. Yoon, what are the most horrifying trends that you yourself have seen on the internet recently that you can warn us about?
Yeah, there's some pretty crazy things. The first one I would bring up is carboxytherapy, and there are videos of this treatment where you stick a needle into the person's eyelid and you fill it with carbon dioxide gas.
No.
And the idea is that carbon dioxide gas will cause circulation to go to that area. And there are all these claims from anti-aging, reducing wrinkles, to improving cellulite, all these things, yet none of them are scientifically proven.
Doc, I think the piece, why you resonate so much to everybody on the internet is you keep it real. So I know you'll tell us what you don't like. Are there any DIY trends that you were like, that looks good?
There is a good DIY trend that's huge right now called skin cycling. Skin cycling is basically a 4-day skin cycle where you start with day 1 where you exfoliate your skin. Day 2, you use a retinoid, which is a great anti-aging type of a cream. And 3 and 4, you recover your skin. This is based off a friend of mine, dermatologist Dr. Whitney Bowe. Very, very popular trend, and it really does work, and it's based off real scientific principles. So if you want your skin to look better, try skin cycling. It does work for a lot of people.
I'm seeing a lot of these lip plumping. Is that a good thing, a bad, like to the point where some of their results to me look very not what the person intended?
So lip injections have to be done by a licensed practitioner, a nurse or a doctor. But there is a device that you're seeing here called a Hydalon pen. Yes, and this is a device that shoots the substance with an air pump underneath the surface of the skin.
What are we doing?
The problem with this is if you're lucky, you can get plumped up, lumpy lips. If you're unlucky and it pushes that filler into a blood vessel, your lip can literally turn black, it can die and fall off. And you can have literally no lip afterwards.
Good God.
There are dermatologists and plastic surgeons all around the country that encourage people, don't do this. Yet you see these videos all the time because it's cheap, it's inexpensive, and you can buy these things literally on normal big box stores online. It's crazy.
What? Okay, so really quickly then, we only have about a minute left. How can people achieve the results that they want without putting themselves in harm's way?
Well, the big thing is you want to once again see who is putting this information out to you. And if you see a video and you go, wow, this sounds great, I should do this, and you're not sure if it's going to work or if it's dangerous, tag a doctor like myself, or there's so many other dermatologists who are on social media, and look for videos that duet them, that basically will show you whether this treatment is either fact, it works, or it's cap, it's a big lie. Because a lot of doctors like myself are out there debunking these types of videos.
And no doctors use the word cap, so I appreciate it. Sam, what does that mean?
I don't know.
Cap means real.
No, I was hoping.
It doesn't?
Well, cap means
please tell them, Doc.
Go ahead.
Cap means fake. It's a Gen Z term that my kids use, and that's how I know it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have
the opposite of what I said.
Thank you, Dr. Yoon. We love you, and thank you for keeping the people safe and informed. DBL Nation, Dr. Yoon has some incredible videos on his social media debunking trends like these, so make sure you check him out at Tony Yoon, MD. We'll be right back.
Thanks,
thank you,
Doc.
Doctor.
Right, no cap.
No cap.
Here at Verify, we want to help people avoid getting scammed. That's why we dedicated a whole section of our website to fact-checking scam claims. But sometimes viewers reach out to us for guidance after falling for a scam. If that's you or someone you know, here are 3 things our sources say you can do right now to protect yourself. 1. Report it. If you shared your banking information or social security number with a scammer, report the scam to police, your banking institutions, and credit bureaus. If scammers have your social security number, they can open up lines of credit in your name. Stop scammers in their tracks by calling all 3 credit bureaus and freezing your credit. If scammers have your bank account or credit card info, call the bank and ask them to reverse the transaction or give you your money back. Next, change your passwords and add 2-factor authentication to your accounts. A lot of personal information is kept in online accounts, including your email address, bank account, and social security numbers. So having a secure password and changing it frequently is key. Just make sure to pick one that's at least 12 characters long and don't use the same password for multiple accounts. Now, if it's an option, set up 2-factor authentication. That requires you or anyone else trying to log into your account to have a second factor, like a security code sent via text message to gain access. Finally, check your computer and other devices for signs of hackers. Is your antivirus program up to date and running? Well, if the computer is unable to run any programs or is running really slowly, that could be a sign that it's been hacked. Disconnect the computer from the internet and take it to a reputable computer technician for inspection. If you suspect your cell phone may be compromised, contact your mobile service provider. Once you have access to your devices again, change your passwords and your PIN numbers. We have an article on our website full of helpful numbers and links. To access it, scan this QR code right here on your screen. With your Verify, I'm Adiante Till.
'Tis the season to return, but the days of free returns may be ending. Let's connect the dots. Just months ago, some stores were both refunding customers for an unwanted item and telling them to keep it. According to the National Retail Federation, in 2020, shoppers sent back $100 billion in merchandise purchased online. That more than doubled last year to over $218 billion. But now some companies are taking a different approach. Stores like H&M and Zara are making shoppers who want to return something help pay for shipping it back. It now costs almost $6 to mail back an item to H&M. And may also be hit with restocking fees for electronics or other high-ticketed items. To help avoid shipping costs, stores are encouraging virtual try-ons. When it comes down to it, in-person returns are still your best bet. Many stores still offer full returns with a receipt, and Amazon shoppers can return items to Kohl's to avoid the shipping hassle. And that is Connecting the Dots.
Are you skeptical of headlines and what you see on social media? We are too. The Verify newsletter helps you distinguish between true and false information by answering your questions. It provides fast facts on trending topics, spotlights major stories, and even includes a daily fun fact for all those trivia buffs out there. Get Verify's fast facts delivered every weekday to your email inbox. Go to verifythis.com/email to check it out.
No time to run, no games. Your time's come today. Just stopping by. We're taking over. We made all this. We're taking over. You know what time it is. We're taking over. We're made to
DBL is all new every day.
say what we made for. We made all this.
Woo. Okay, welcome back to DBL. We're going to dip into the old DBL mailbag. Don't give me that look.
Okay.
Sounded weird.
It's the mailbag that the viewers write in questions for us. So this question is to all of us from Sydney. She says, you all seem so close. Do you ever spend the holidays or special occasions with each other?
Yes.
Yeah. We did Friendsgiving one year.
Yeah.
That was fun.
COVID knocked things out for a couple of years.
Yeah.
But then, we did Super Bowl party.
We do
That was
Super Bowl
cool.
almost every year. Yep.
Yeah. Yes, Erica throws
We're
it
going to be
down.
doing Seder.
I said I'm down. I want to do that.
When? Passover.
That's going to be a 2023 tradition.
All of you were there.
Yes.
I love this.
100% I'm in.
Yeah.
You could pass me over.
No, you're not. You're coming. DBL School every day. We'll see you Monday, same time, same place. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Oh.